Hi everybody, a little bit of an update to the linear One Suburban. As you may notice, I've eliminated the clutch, the thermal clutch, and the original, I think it was about an inch spacer, inch and a half spacer or so, and the original engine fan in favor of two um, aluminum spacers stacked together, because you have to clear the balancer down there, and a one-piece flex fan, mechanical engine-driven fan. It has no clutch on it whatsoever. It's always on. The one thing you have to be careful of with these fans is these edges are very sharp, and when you're working on tightening something up, for instance, if you slip, you can easily cut your hand. I've actually had these blades; they're so sharp. I've actually had gloves on, like leather work gloves, and I've sliced right through the glove down to my hand on other cars and stuff. So just be careful when you're working around these. I did upgrade to the flex fan for a couple of reasons. One, from the very first time that I started up this truck with all the alternators on it, with the stock fan and clutch spaced outward to clear the harmonic balancer pulley there, the problem was that I had a vibration in the truck, and I just attributed that towards so much rotating mass spinning, maybe an imbalance because of the pulley or whatever. I never gave it much thought. One day I actually watched this thing very closely, about a week or two ago, and I watched the fan bounce up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and it was really obvious where the vibration was coming from. And I've had this thing going for a couple of years now, and I haven't encountered any problems. Apparently other folks have had their water pumps actually break or snap because of this balance issue. I think a lot of that has to do with, I think its root cause is that when you start spacing out that clutch fan, there might be a centering issue with the quality of the spacers you have. They have a centering, they have like a nipple on them where you center the fan, and they have a hub in the back where you center on the water pump. In any case, I think the fact that when you start taking this very heavy clutch fan assembly and pushing it outward and more outward and more outward to clear larger pulleys and the like, you develop this large amount of leverage behind the thermal clutch. And since there is, a viscous something or other inside of the clutch that actually engages, I think there is some movement in the clutch just from the factory, and I think it's magnified by the leverage on the pump. Long story short, two spacers over here. These are two 2-inch spacers. Again, I didn't need to get two 2-inch spacers. I could have used like a 1-inch or actually a 2-inch and maybe like a half-inch on top of that. I just put two 2s in there in case I ever go to a longer pulley. There's still plenty of clearance to the radiator. There's plenty of clearance in the fan shroud. I actually have the part number. It's a Flexolite part number 1518 flex fan. There's only 3 models of reverse rotation flex fans from Flexolite, and that's very critical. You have to get a reverse rotation if you're using the Serpentine with the reverse rotation pump. Model 1518, it's like 18 1/4 inches wide. The only thing I'm going to keep an eye out for is I want to keep an eye on the rivets on the fan, because the rivets have a tendency on flex fans. This thing might not see the mileage to do it, but some vehicles that are driven more will. The rivets can actually loosen up just from the movement they have there, and the blades can get loose. So you just got to keep an eye on that. But aside from that, it works really well right now. I'll show you how smooth it runs in a second. Let me just start the truck up. Let's see here. So you see, you could hear a little buzzing as the blades were flexing. That's correct. It means the blades are bending out at higher RPMs, but it works fantastic. I'm very happy with it. It's a ton smoother. I instantly felt the difference in the truck when it went down to low idle. There was no thump, 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 thump vibration anymore from the bottom end. It was all because of the fan. Go figure. So thanks, watchers. Thanks, my YouTube fans. Just wanted to give everybody a heads up. This might be an issue if you guys are installing brackets and extending your fan and stuff, so just be aware of that. That's the fix I came up with. You're going to spend about $85 in parts for 2 spacers. I got everything from Summit Racing. I think it's summit.com. That's it. I couldn't be happier. Oh, the one other thing you're going to have to run into a problem with, sorry, it's a good thing I remember that, was the bolts. you notice, see how big those bolts are? You actually need like I think it's like a 5 1/4 or 5.5 inch bolt. On these later model ones, I don't know exactly when they started, but it seems all the reverse rotation ones have a metric bolt pattern. It's actually a metric 8 by 1.25 is the thread pitch, and you need like 140 millimeters or something. Whatever it is, it winds up being like about 5 or 5.5 inches, somewhere in that neighborhood. I couldn't find them locally. They are available through boltdepot.com. I did find them for about $1 each or so. What I did was I wanted this done today, so I went to the store. They actually had in stock metric threaded rod, and then I actually just put a nut on the end, welded it, plug welded it, and lock washer, split lock washer, flat washer, and red thread locker. I always use red thread locker on almost everything in the truck. Red thread locker is definitely your friend. It's going to keep everything together when stuff starts vibrating. All right, thanks guys. I'll read your comments. By the way, 320, brand new. 320, 320, 200. See you later.